But let's begin with what else is going on. What have you noticed, Zach, so far in terms of training camp that's different from Stefanski? Anybody that may have stood out for whatever reason, and just early thoughts.
Yeah, I'm encouraged by both rookie receivers.
Okay,
and they're still starting practice with the twos. Now, I just want to say one thing here about this overreaction.
Yeah.
Like I went out at 12:10, and they're stretching.
Right.
Football practice.
Yeah.
At 1:10, there still had not been a single full-speed competitive rep. So
what are they doing for an hour?
They're doing installation. They're doing individual drills.
Yeah.
They're drilling down on the middle things. Denzel Boston, to me, is the absolute guy that stands out based on what we've seen. Three or four practices. Concepcion is really, really fast, and he's small, and he drops it sometimes. But like when you watch him run versus the other guys, if you're really watching, you're like,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought Isaiah Bond was nearly invisible or didn't make plays in the first couple times we were out there. I thought yesterday he made 2 or 3 plays that you wrote down like, hey, so that's part of the discussion. Is he just now getting it? Was yesterday different?
Yeah.
Like they are 5 OTAs in. This is the midway point of the practice portion of the offseason.
Yeah.
So we heard from the O coordinator yesterday, Travis Switzer. I said, where are you guys in terms of installation versus refinement? And he said what I thought was interesting because I had never heard it put like this before. He said, we installed the entire offense with the veterans in phase 2 before the rookies really got here. He said, but when you bring it out to the field and compete with it, it's different. And so then the rookies obviously are catching up and will be, but this team needs these rookies. And then so Boston is like, okay, is he ahead of schedule or is he really ahead of schedule?
Right.
Spencer Fano, who's going to be the left tackle, is not yet with the ones. They're just not trying to rush him. He's going to be out there. Like yesterday, Howard wasn't there, Elton Jenkins wasn't there, almost half the So what you're seeing, but you're just looking for incremental improvement. You're looking for cleaning things up. Do I think that there was a lot of touchdown passes or a lot of big plays compared to what there's been yesterday? Sure. But at the end, there's a session where it's 11 on 11. They're trying to run out, jog through, run one play, and run the field goal team on. They're working on a situation. Right. They can't even get lined up right. Todd Monken goes ballistic. I don't need to tell you what he said. But it's like, okay, that was a good part of practice.
Yeah.
That was a bad part of practice. It's May 27th. It's practice.
Zach, based on just some of the clips I saw, and obviously you were out there, I wasn't, so I'm curious. It feels like in the early installation process, which is the only process we've seen, there is more motion. There is more pre-snap eye candy before they're getting the ball into the quarterback's hands, delivering it elsewhere. I know it's installation. I know it's early, and just a few small plays. But is there a noticeable difference? Because Jerry Jeudy even said the whole playbook's different, the whole scheme's different, the whole communication system's different. Is it that noticeable to your eyes how much different this offense looks in the little bit you've seen now versus in previous years?
Yeah, I think it's too early to say it's that noticeable. But like when you're standing and watching, like what am I gleaning here? Like that's what you're writing down, the motion. They're moving guys around. They're using the receivers as part of the run game, and then that sets up other things. So I think in 24, when we were out there and we were really wondering what was going on, it was a lot of quick horizontal stuff, too much movement, but it felt broken. This feels like emotion is a part of it. And then you look, hey, that's going to be Concepcion, right? They're going to make the defense pay attention to him. They're going to create mismatches. Harold Fannon's not even out there yet. He's probably going to lead the team in targets and receptions again. But yeah, you're definitely noticing that. You're definitely noticing a quick passing game and wanting the quarterback to move. Like, it wasn't lost on me that the second play of competitive reps, it was a zone read keeper by Deshaun Watson. Only one quarterback can run that play, right? But, like, yeah, you're seeing Denzel Boston quickly move up. You're seeing Concepcion quickly move up. And because you're not seeing Fannin out there, you're seeing just a bunch of guys who are basically blocking tight ends. But everybody's getting their chance. And on this team, like Carson Ryan, the 7th-round rookie, I don't know if he's going to make the team or not, but he's got a chance to be the fullback. He's got a chance to be one of these extra tight ends because they're going to – everybody's playing 3 or 4 tight ends, and the Browns are going to be one of those teams. But, yeah, the motion is certainly something you notice.
You mentioned Fano not playing with the first team. He's done that on purpose? I mean, it's not like because he's struggling.
Yeah, they're just giving him a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was notable to me because they came out and said this is our left tackle, and that's what we assume. You pick the guy.
Right. But
2 weeks in, DeJuan Jones is in year 4. Spencer Fano's in year 1, week 3. That's all it is.
So he's got to be starting week 1 of the season.
Yeah, he will. And when they break it into 2 groups, it's the 2 rookie tacklers, Barber at right tackle, Fano at left tackle with the second group. And then the first group, like I said, it's the first group, but only 2 of them were even there yesterday. So you're just getting everybody's getting a turn.
And in terms of the wide receivers, right? You've been to a million Browns camps. I've been to a lot of them. Outside of Josh Gordon, most of the wide receivers have just blended into white noise that we've seen out there. Like nothing stood out. Are these it seems like these two guys in different ways are standing out.
I mean, Denzel Boston is a legit 6'4", so you know this.
Yeah.
And Concepcion is fast. I'll tell you what's different. Yesterday they ran a drill, just a drill, where it was intentional deep ball. I haven't seen that very often.
Okay.
And guys were running, and it was just throw it as far as you can get it and go get it. And some of them were prettier than others, but it's like that's a concentration. And like they all do blend together. But I remember in 2019 when Monken was here the first time, I remember at one point that training camp, they were bombing the deep ball. That's when they had Odell and Jarvis. Rashad Higgins had just kind of come on the scene. And I thought, oh my gosh, this offense is going to be great. Now they got to a point that August that it just kind of broke up and they never really found their rhythm. But like what I've seen is motion's going to be a part of it, and it's going to be used to set up the deep ball, which is absolutely going to try to be a part of it. And you need Boston and Concepcion for that.
Is the pacing of all of it different in practice than it had been in the past?
The structure is very different. Like I said, to be out there for an hour right now and see, and then to see, last year they did the two spotting, trying to get everybody reps, but this year it's kind of a concentrated effort of going through full pace. We're not doing it just to get quarterbacks extra reps. Like this is how we're installing it. And it makes sense because even down the line, you have 3 rookie O linemen. You have Leviston, who may be a guard, maybe a tackle, maybe on the team, maybe not be, right? So you're doing all of that different installation stuff. So it's certainly a different practice. And from me trying to like make evaluations, it's different in what are you watching, what should you be watching. So I think in 2 weeks when it's minicamp, you'll want to see it smoother, you'll want to see it faster. But right now we're seeing a football practice where there's good plays, bad plays, and stopping practice a lot. There was fewer fumbled snaps and false starts yesterday.
Baby steps.
He's taking his progress.
Baby steps.
But there's still times where they're stopping it like, hey, and that's fine. Every practice across the league. It's just every year you're starting over. You're not getting anywhere. But every practice across the league in May. Guys are offsides. Guys are not lining up right. Guys are making the wrong read. It's what
is anybody, any of the new guys, I mean, I don't know how possible this is at this point, but on defense, making a name for themselves at all?
No. I mean, McNeil Warren wasn't practicing yesterday. He's out there. He's not wearing a brace or anything. The line, it's not contact, it's not pads, so you don't see. There's an undrafted defensive end named Corday Sidnor who got some run with the ones. Now they're extremely short-handed, but you take notice that that's an undrafted rookie.
Yeah, sure.
So he's probably in the plans. But no, like there's going to be a competition for the linebacker roster spots. There's going to be some mystery on McNeil Warren. Does he play right away? Does he play like a linebacker? Does he play center field? We don't know any of that stuff right
too
now.
early.
How Judkins back out there? I know last week he was the guy you said kind of caught your eye because he was actually participating in some capacity. Any difference in what Judkins did last week versus this week?
It kind of looked the exact same. He's in all the instructional stuff. He's running the drills, and then they're kind of limiting towards the end because they don't need him. But he looks fast. He looks good. You would never know. And this says a lot about how good he is, I think. But when you just watch the running back drill specifically, he's obviously first because he's the starter, but he's so much better than the other guys. It's just kind of what he should be, right? He's your number one running back.
And it's not like you have a two. I mean, Dylan Sampson showed some things, but obviously he's not a featured back, not a number one in the NFL. Judkins is that guy, showed he can be that guy, and then is Rocket Sanders number 3 at this point? Like, there's not a lot of depth behind him that you go, oh, well, he's proven it in the NFL level.
That's going to be
Judkins
the summer
and nobody.
with the pads. But Sampson's not even practicing right now. So it's
so
certainly
even bigger of a drop-off.
It's a disparity. Like the clear order is Judkins to Sanders to guys who have never played at all. So when you just watch the drills, you're like, okay, we'll see.
Any of the undrafted free agents outside of the defensive end you just mentioned that have at least got into the 2s maybe that catch your eye?
No, because when the 2s are in, you're mostly looking at the receivers. And
fair enough.
It's early. They gave this running back Booth, an undrafted guy, like they gave him a small guarantee that basically says he's going to be on the practice squad and they want to develop him. He's the one that dropped the pass that Shedeur Sanders got picked yesterday. He's in the drills and he's not Quinshon Judkins, but he's 2 weeks into his career. They like something about him. He's going to get a chance.
He's a Mississippi State kid.
You need 4 or 5 running backs over the course of the year, whether that's fullback, special teams, kick return. Like nothing is settled here with this team in terms of any order behind Judkins or in terms of anything on special teams. We think Sampson could be the kick returner. We think Concepcion will be the punt returner. But if he plays a full-time offensive role, can you do that? How's it going to go? We'll see.
Todd Monken so far, obviously, I mean, such a different personality than Kevin Stefanski. Is it more interesting? Because Kevin Stefanski, or do you not care? Because Kevin Stefanski's press conferences would drive us crazy. He never said anything. He wouldn't answer any questions. Monken does at least a little bit.
He does. Last week he was like, nothing's changed on the quarterbacks, and that's fine, Todd. We get it, but we have to ask, and we're going to ask. Like, you took this job, you're supposed to be the guy that ends the every year quarterback competition, the every month quarterback competition.
Yeah.
So until there's a winner, we're going to ask, and until they make a change again, which they'll be because they're going to start Watson, it's going to be a disaster. Then we're going to ask. So he's just got to get used to it.
All right, you feel like 100% right now?
I don't feel like 100%.
But
he's leading the competition based on what we've seen. He looks a little better based on what we've seen. And just like they're running the second play of competitive practice as zone read keeper. That's not for Shedeur Sanders. That's not for Dylan Gabriel. Yeah. Dylan Gabriel got 3 snaps all day yesterday. That was in 7-on-7. It's Sanders versus Watson, and Watson is the leader right now. Will we have a winner officially in a week and a half, or will it be late July? I don't know. Could it change? Sure. I don't think Shedeur threw the ball poorly yesterday. I think just in terms of like the highlight down the field throws, Watson's made more, but then every time he misses the next guy. So we'll talk about the quarterbacks later, but to me there's a pretty clear leader in the quarterback battle.
It's fascinating. And just the whole idea and premise of this camp, being a new head coach, being a quarterback battle, being 2 new receivers at minimum who are looking to take a gigantic step forward, having a top 10 drafted pick at left tackle. There's so many little nuances within the overall complexion of these OTAs that I feel like, unlike last year, it was just the Shedeur versus Dylan quarterback situation. Absolutely. This year, thankfully, there are other things to talk about to get us off the quarterback battle, even though the quarterback battle is by far the number one trending topic and the number one thing that we're focused most on. There are some other things that we could at least get excited
I agree,
about.
Bull, and like you're right. Like Stefanski just got to the point where he wasn't answering anything. He got stale. Well, part of it was they won 11 games in 23. Every single guy that was eligible for a contract extension had his contract extension. They came back, the quarterback stunk, they flatlined.
Yeah.
So now you have a young, hungry team. So when we get in the summer, like even the older guys are competing for something. I mean, there's some offensive linemen that have guaranteed money, but the quarterback's guaranteed nothing. Judkins has proven nothing outside of a few games yet, right? Like it's every bit of the preseason, and the starters aren't going to play in every preseason game.
Right.
But the joint practices, the preseason games, the building of the offense past the first few days of camp, like there is, fascinating is a fair word, like there is intrigue to it. There is mystery. Like who's really ready as a rookie? How many rookies can you have out there? How good can this offensive line be right away? And like even if Fano's going to be really good, he's going to be a 21-year-old left tackle. Yeah. It's going to be hard.
You know, I was talking with Herm Edwards, who will be on my podcast tomorrow. We recorded it yesterday, and he is adamant. Obviously, he's been out of the game now a little while, but he's still an analyst. He is absolutely adamant that that players got to play, that they should play more in the preseason, that this idea, like, what if they get hurt? Well, if they're going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt. Sure. Does it ultimately matter if they get hurt game 1 or the preseason? And he thinks, this doesn't really affect the Browns, but he thinks even when a quarterback is drafted in the first round, this like idea that the Raiders wouldn't play Fernando Mendoza, he thinks it's stupid. Now, whatever. I bring that up because you're right. I mean, even Deshaun Watson, who's a veteran, he has to play in the preseason. He has not played.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he needs reps, and almost everybody on this offense needs to play in the preseason.
Would you say anyone doesn't? I mean, maybe Fannin? Maybe Fannin?
No,
but
I mean, I'd want him to play.
Yeah, I'd want him to play.
And if Watson's starting, he never played with Watson. And you have new receivers and new offensive linemen. I think everybody's got to play.
I think maybe Judkins is the one.
Yeah, I mean, he's a running back, fine.
But he's got to play a couple snaps. Like,
but he's still got to play a little bit.
Get that out there. Yeah, no.
But yeah.
And Monken's kind of talked about it. I mean, that's still way, way down the road. They're looking at practice to practice. And they have, 5? They have 8 more off-season practices.
Right.
And then, 10 probably before they play a preseason game. Yeah. But certainly everybody's going to play to an extent. And in terms of the starters logging more than a series here and a series there, in joint practices, in the preseason, in full speed in practice, it's going to be much more than we've seen. That's not just a coach-to-coach philosophy.
Yeah.
That's the reality of this team. This is completely rebuilt almost off.
Yeah, I feel like the Browns in the past have been scared to play guys in the preseason. And it seems like Todd Monken is anxious to name a starter. Do you think ultimately he will name a starter before the first preseason game?
Before the first preseason game, yes.
Yeah.
I think it won't be in the spring. I think the competition will
that makes sense.
begin. But I don't know. Because like I said, I do see a guy who seems to be ahead right now, both in terms of what we see a little bit and how they're operating. But it'll certainly be before the first preseason game, unless something goes haywire, and you just never know here.
Right, sure.
There's just so many young guys and so many new guys. I mean, the only guy that's back on the offensive line is Tevin Jenkins, who was a backup last year.
Yeah.
And it's a completely new O-line coach, play caller, system,
Completely
everything.
different, yeah. Last thing before we switch gears to the Cavs after a break, and I can't think of his name. Who's the kid that might come out in the supplemental draft again?
Brennan Sorsby.
What do you think? Should the Browns be involved or no?
This is not a 30-second conversation, but they have to be. This is the most important position in sports.
You think he has a chance to be a legit?
Yes, they have to do their research to get to a comfortable point, because the quarterback situation going forward is completely wide open.
Yeah.
And they completely wasted a third-round pick just a year ago. So they have to be comfortable to where they want to be or don't want to be with Brennan Sorsby, and then they have to think about the price they would invest.
You're right, it's a longer conversation. It's fascinating. If they do draft him, it creates a whole bunch of new storylines. But if you had to guess right now, will somebody take him? And if so, well, I guess somebody will take him. But what round?
I can't say definitively somebody will take him because we don't know what's going on.
Right.
But like, if there's a comfort level with what went on, then yes, someone will take him in the second or third round. There's no doubt about it.
You think the teams will know if the league's going to suspend him before?
I think they'll have an idea. I think they'll have a ballpark.